Welcome to Freed on Business. He grew up in South Florida, has been in business here since the early 90s, and has closed over $3 billion in deals. He's seen it all. He always has an opinion, and he's always ready to share it. Informed, entertaining, and connected, he has his finger on the pulse of South Florida's business community. He's Jim Freed, and this is Freed on Business.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Freed on Business. We're South Florida's longest-running business talk show, and today my guest is going to be Bruce Turkel. My man, Bruce Turkel, is a public speaker. He's a thought leader. He's the person that helps me, manage my personal brand and my thoughts on marketing. Welcome to the show, Bruce.
Thank you, Jim. Great to be here.
All right. Well, before we get started, we always go to our friends at Warren Henry. So let's get started with Warren Henry. We'll be right back with some great content with Bruce Turkel here on Freed on Business. As I like to say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stop your percussion there, Bruce, but you can get the harmonica out for later if you like. Like I said, we're South Florida's longest running business talk show, and I want to thank our sponsors, Warren Henry. Since July 2012, Warren Henry's been a sponsor. I want to thank Larry, Warren, Eric, and of course our good friend Samantha Jacobson there as well. When you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. Up in Gainesville, they sell Audi. Down in the Keys, they've got all their great nameplates that they sell down there. What do they have in common? Besides being great cars, they come with the Warren Henry Advantage. That means you get a complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement. I'm going to go up there this week and get them to replace one of my keys. Guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, and of course, a 72-hour exchange. You can take 3 full days to make sure you like your Warren Henry car. Join me, my mom, and my beautiful wife, Vivian. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be, too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry. Don't forget, give me a call. Yes, it's too late to close in 2020, but we can still help you in January of 2021. We're doing residential mortgages for foreigners and folks that don't have W-2 income. If you do have W-2 income, we're doing loans for you too. Give me a call at 305-773-6300. The capital markets are coming back. As real estate gets its footing, you'll see that there'll be capital markets opportunities. Give me a call on those too. I've got great cash out of New York. We can make a decision in less than a week. 305-773-6300. Give me a call. Bruce, this is your part, because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we're back, and we're back with somebody I'm proud to say is my friend and my mentor and one of my thought leader friends. It helps me stay within the guideposts. My friends say stay between the rails. Welcome back, Bruce Turkel, to the show.
Thank you, Jim. Happy to be here.
Hey, thanks for being here. You know, we've had a lot of transition here. 2020 was a year of great dynamism. 2021 will be a year of even bigger change. There'll be things that we can't even project that are going to happen. But Bruce, the thing I want to talk about this week with you is how people can kind of get a sense of stability in themselves and then maybe move forward with a new career, a new idea, a new focus, a new approach, which is sort of what you helped me do in 2020 when I shifted gears from commercial to residential. Now I'm sort of shifting gears back again. You know, it's not that easy. It's nuanced, projecting your brand. But thanks to you, I've been able to maintain a consistency in my brand, which is really all about helping people.
That's so important to what's going on right now, because if you look at all of the things happening, and this can be, of course, the pandemic, it can be the political situation, it can be the economy, it can be so many things. We don't have to get into the details of them, but we know that they affect us, regardless of our opinion, regardless of our experiences, they all affect us. And truth be told, we have very little control over what happens. I mean, yes, we can stay safe, we can remember to vote, we can support candidates, we can do all those things, but we still don't have that much control over what happens. But as Viktor Frankl said in Man's Search for Meaning, the one thing that we have control over is ourselves. Yes. We can determine who we are, what we want to accomplish, and maybe even more importantly, how we want to respond. Yeah. We can control our own actions, but the only way you can do that is if you actually know who you are, if you actually know what you want. Now, in the marketing world, when I ran an ad agency for 30 whatever years, you know, that went without saying. You would ask the client, tell me about your product or your service. Who is it directed at? What is it going to accomplish? What are the good parts? What are the bad parts? The assets, the liabilities. We would do something called a SWOT analysis, SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. And most companies knew these things. And if they didn't, they would bring in guys like me to figure it out for them. And then they would follow the plan. And by following the plan, they were able to deal with eventualities they hadn't expected, consumers changing their mind, a weather issue, whatever it was. But in our lives, we don't do that. It's bizarre. We just get up every day and we do our thing, and then we go to bed. And in somewhere along the line, we curse what we don't have, and maybe we appreciate what we do have. But we never stop to think about it. And one of the hardest questions to answer is if you just say to someone, hey, what do you want? 4 words. What do you want? And they can't answer it. I mean, they say things like, well, I want more money. Okay, who doesn't? But do you want more money monthly to pay your rent, or do you want enough money to buy an airplane? I mean, I want more money is a very wide comment. Or they'll say, I want to be happy. Okay, great. Who doesn't want to be happy? But what does that mean? Or so we never stop and figure this out. But if you do stop and figure it out, then when these vagrancies of life, when the tides, completely mix my metaphors, when the winds of life blow you in different directions, you know how to get back on course because you know what you're trying to accomplish. And if you say, what do I want? You think about it for a moment, you go, gosh, I really don't know. Then I got to say, for the new year, you got some work to do.
So listen, I had a new grandnephew that was born.
Oh, congratulations. Mazel tov.
I'm so happy. And what it did was it gave me an important moment. You know, they ask you, would you like to give the baby a blessing? So I did. And what did I wish for the baby? I wished that the baby would bring love and light to the world. Then I took a step back and said, but if that's what I'm wishing for the baby, then isn't that what I should be doing for myself? And then I said, but I am. And then I felt good.
You've actually been working on it quite hard, so you should feel good about it.
Yes, it's something I've been working very hard on, and it's really difficult because I'm in the real estate industry where everybody's always trying to get an angle on somebody. And so the angle that I really work hard to play is truthfulness and transparency, which are refreshing and is something that people in my industry are actually attracted to because it's so refreshing. And that allows me to continue on in a way that's consistent with my personal goals and objectives, which is helping people, because helping people makes me feel good.
And the important thing is to know that. Knowing, therefore, where that's going to lead you or what you're going to accomplish, that's nice, but that's secondary. The important thing is to know what it is that matters.
Well, what matters is completely different for every single person, but I would hope that we would all come together and hope that, and we've even seen in our community trials that we've been going through that a lot of people don't care about other people. And it's very difficult to have a society where a significant portion of people don't care about everybody. It's very difficult to live like that.
Oscar Wilde said, I believe it was in Picture of Dorian Gray. He wrote, "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken."
Boo!
And it's a great piece of advice.
I got to tell you, it's very difficult to figure out who you are. And one of the things that I like to tell people is that your stomach knows who you are. If you're doing something that your stomach is not too happy about, odds are that's not you. And you need to get away from it. Sometimes we put ourselves in a position where we feel like it's impossible to escape from. And, a lot of that's been going on this year with the 2020 and the COVID and the limits and all this other stuff. But if people are creative and break out, they can really find some incredibly new and good things to do. I never once considered that I would be doing for a business residential real estate. But when I reviewed the time spent this last year, a majority of it was spent doing the residential real estate. And you go, well, Jim, who are you doing that for? When I review it, I'm doing it for people that are involved in my public sector life. I'm doing it for people that are real estate executives. I'm doing it for friends of friends that I never met. And I got to tell you, my favorite email came from a guy who always signs it, "Be in good spirits." You know what he does, right? He sells liquor. So he's in good spirits.
Let me add just a few things to what you said. The point of being in the real estate business, and then you're differentiating between residential or commercial, I would suggest that that's a fine point that really is not where the focus needs to be. That's simply what you do. What's more important is the question you asked earlier, which is most people don't know who they are. And you need to determine that. The function of what you do is secondary. I'll give you an example. If you came over my house and in the garage, I have some classic cars, and I was, the garage door was open and the hood was open and I was down inside, and you told me you were there, and I said, "Hey, Jim, do me a favor. Hand me a tool." What would you give me? There's a whole toolbox there with ratchets and wrenches and screwdrivers and whatever. And you'd say, "Well, what tool do you want?" "Oh, give me a wrench." "Okay. Do you want an open end wrench? Do you want a closed wrench? Do you want a ratcheting wrench? Do you want a spanner?" "Oh, give me a ratchet." "Okay. Do you want 3/8? Do you want 1/4? Do you want 2/16? Do you want metric? Do you want long extension?" On and on and on and on. You get the point. That the function is not what matters here. What matters is what I'm trying to achieve. Because if I say to you, "I'm trying to remove a 3/16 inch bolt that I can't reach," you would know, okay, I need a 3/16 inch socket. I need the extension so you can fit it past the muffler or whatever it is. But again, we don't do that. So what and I know this because I know you've done this before. What you talk about is helping people reach their dreams. When it was commercial, it was helping people build businesses that make sense, helping people make better deals so they could have greater income, so they could take care of their families or take care of their businesses or pay their employees or whatever. When it was residential, you talked about finding the residence where someone could be themselves, where they could live their dream, where they had the kitchen because they love to cook, or they had the yard because, like my wife, they love to garden, or they had no yard because, like people I know, they didn't want to take care of it, whatever. But the function is secondary. What matters is knowing yourself. So again, you said that's the hard part. It's really not. It's not hard when we do it for businesses, products, or services. Why should it be hard for us? We just don't take the time. In the book that I've been writing, or actually I finished writing, that you know about, I interviewed 35 people who figured these things out. And I asked them, how did you figure it out? And they told me. And from that, I created a number of exercises that you go through, charts and graphs that you fill out. It's a lot of fun. And at the end, you kind of know who you are. You know what you want. And you then can create the roadmap to get where you want to be. Because you know that old saying, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there.
Yeah, well, I think we should take a break right here. Let people consider where they want to go. We'll be right back after the break. And then we'll start going again down the path. My path, I know. My path is a path of helping folks be positive and achieve their goals. We'll talk about how I do that after the break. Reagan, rock it. are South Florida's longest running business talk show. I want to thank all of our healthcare heroes, first responders, and people that are putting their lives at risk. Even the people at Wendy's, when I go through and pick up a hamburger, I thank them for putting themselves at risk. And I also always thank my friends at Warren Henry. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Warren. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Samantha. Hey, everybody, when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. Up in Gainesville, they sell Audi. Down in the Keys, well, they've got all their nameplates down there. What do they all have in common? Well, they're all great cars, and they all come with the Warren Henry Advantage. That means that you get complimentary service loan, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, and a 72-hour exchange. You can take 3 full days to determine whether or not you'll like the Warren Henry car. Guess what? You will. I got lots of friends that are happy with Warren Henry. Plus, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian. Hey, even join me. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best service, always the best price, always Warren Henry.
This is Becca Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
All right, and give me a call if I can help at 305-773-6300. I'm Jim Freed, and I do real estate capital. I help people achieve their dreams. If it's residential, I helped one guy buy his house. We needed to work with him to close by the end of the month, and we did. We had another gentleman at perfect credit. We got him a tremendous loan, and now we're working with many people that don't have W-2 income. We're getting them the best rates they can believe. In fact, when you get a loan from us, you want to staple it to your front door so you can brag about it for the next 30 years. So give me a call at 305-773-6300. Why? Because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
Hi, we're back, and we're with one of my favorite guests, Bruce Turkel. Bruce helps me figure out my branding, helps me keep myself between the rails, as I like to say, and helps me keep it real. Bruce, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Jim.
Now, Bruce, we were talking about, people in transition. But before we did that, I wanted to go back to one of the basics. Back when I first met you, you had written a book about the 7 attributes that people needed to know. I really would like it if we could just go over that a little bit, because it really does set the table. Thank you.
It really does. White?
Huh?
Do I look like Vanna White here?
Yeah, you're terrific. And I'd really like to talk about the 7 different items that you mentioned, because I like to utilize all of them on a regular basis. I think we could give a refresher, and then it'll lead us directly into a discussion about your next book, because they fit together so well.
Sure.
Talk about the 7 things.
So the book was called Building Brand Value, and it was how you are able to build a brand, either for your company or for yourself, that communicates value to your customer, your consumer, your end user, your community, whoever it is that you are trying to create value for. And there's, as you pointed out, there's 7 points. Each one of them is only 3 words. The first one is all about them. The idea is that you ironically, don't build a brand about yourself. You build a brand about the people, the customers that you are interacting with. And if you're talking about doing that for your life, it's the same way. You live a life of service. We are here to help others, to provide for others, whether it's friends, family, clients. Again, you can pick. I don't mean to tell you how to live your life, but the idea is, how do I communicate who I am, what I do, why I matter, by providing value to others. So point number one is all about them. Point number two is hearts, then minds. The idea being we make an emotional connection before we make an intellectual connection. It's what you and I talked about earlier on this exact program, the idea that the function of what you do, the intellectual components that you bring to the party are secondary. What matters first is your emotional components. There's IQ, which is the intellect, of course, and intellectual quotient. And then there's EQ, which is emotional quotient. And up till very recently, in a lot of business schools, they've called EQ soft skills, the ability to empathize, the ability to communicate, the ability to do those kind of things. But in fact, those are actually where relationships are formed and where people make decisions.
Is that measurable, Bruce? Is that measurable? Is that like IQ? Is that like subjectively measurable?
It's more, no, objectively measurable is what you're looking for. And what they're finding is that the companies that have established a very strong sense of EQ connections, brands that you love, not just brands that you say they work great or this cleans my floors or this computer works better, but the brands you love,
Coke,
Apple, BMW, Yamaha, and there's a lot of them. The brands you love have much higher ROI and EBITDA than the brands that you simply like. And these brands work very hard. Even a brand which seems incredibly technical, like Amazon, if you think about it, the relationship with the brand is you can find what you want, you know you're getting the lowest price, and it'll arrive almost immediately. Why do they work so hard to get it to you faster, faster, faster? Because that's when you go, oh my God, I love these people. I needed this or I wanted this, and here it is. So yes, it is measurable, and there's more and more technology now that we're wearing monitors, and people can track heart rate, they can track pulse, they can track skin temperature. What we're finding is that these EQ connections really are where business matters. Remember that people make their decisions based on emotion, and then they justify those decisions based on fact. Oh my God, I love that car. Ooh, don't I look good in it? Hey, I can afford it. It gets good gas mileage. It's durable. But that tends to be how we make decisions. So that's only point two, which is hearts then minds. Point three is make it simple. Stop making things so complicated, because people aren't going to take the time or the effort to understand what you have to say. Make it simple. Think of all the great taglines in history, whether it's for a company, the ultimate driving machine for BMW, or
just do it. It's my favorite.
Or it's for a politician. I like Ike for President Eisenhower, or Yes We Can for Obama, or Make America Great Again for Trump. It is as simple as possible, and the people who are going to follow, and of course I know there's people on both sides of the aisles, but it works on both sides of the aisle. It's simplicity. So make it simple is number three. Number four, make it quick. Don't belabor people. Don't lecture people. Have a strong, emotional, quick point. Make it and get out of the way. Point five is make it yours. You need to own whatever it is you're talking about, because that's how consumers, customers, users will come to know you. Point six is all five senses, meaning you need to have a sensual connection with your brand, not just a physical, an intellectual one. So think about, for example, you talk about Warren Henry. Think about all the things they do on a sensual level, and think about the cars as well. You open the doors, you get the new car smell. You close the door, you get the thunk of solidity and quality. They wash your cars for you. I believe it was on Saturday or something, which is, it smells good, it feels good, it looks good. The bubbles sound good. They give you a cup of coffee. The salesperson shakes your hand, or used to shake your hand. Now we don't shake anyone's hands.
Wave. They wave.
But
send an email.
They used to. Now it's now you get a fist jab, right? But
not even that.
They make or the elbow, right? They make those sensual connections. And then, so point 6 is all 5 senses, and point 7 is repeat, repeat, repeat. Once you figure it out, you say it over and over and over and over again, because your consumer needs to remember it and needs to act on it.
It's 100% true. I really appreciate it. I wanted you to go over it just for a rudimentary review, if nothing else, because while you were doing it, I was checking off all the things that I do, all the way down to the ads of it's all about you and repeat, repeat, repeat. I must have sent, I don't know how many LinkedIn posts this year, and they all had my residential mortgage stuff on the bottom. The top would change with the different emotional appeal, and the bottom would always be the business. If you want information, click here. That's it. Always within the context of 1,400 characters, whatever they limit you to, and it's really good. And I've been able to project that feeling to other people when I call them or they call me. I go, why are you calling? And they go, well, we just saw you, or we feel great about you. Oh, it's great to see you again. Oh, we love your video. Everybody just says, oh, we love your videos. They make us feel good. I win at hello.
That's right. The student has surpassed the teacher. You may now leave the temple. You can grasp the pebble from my palm, grasshopper.
Thank you so much. Listen, all I want to do is every time I want to just really project it and really implement it, because it's been very effective. It's why I wanted to bring it up in a full segment on its own so you could have it and we could share it, because it's really very important fundamentals. Without those fundamentals, you can't get to the next phase, because the next phase is just basically switching the services, but keeping yourself the same, I'd have to believe.
Well, of course, keeping yourself the same, that's integral to who you are and to what you present. The services will change all the time based on technology, based on market needs. Again, it goes back to what we said at the very beginning. The function of what you do is cost of entry. If you're not good at what you do, you're not in business, or you're not building good relationships or strong families or whatever. So you have to be good at what you do. But just because you are good at what you do doesn't mean you're going to be successful at it. I mean, you go to Vegas, you sit down at the poker table, you have to ante up before you get to play. You put the chips down for the ante, they deal you your cards. Paying the ante doesn't mean you're going to win. In fact, chances are you're not going to win, right? But it's cost of entry. Then your skills, your ability to read the other players, the luck of the draw, the cards that you get, no different than life, right? Your abilities, how you do your job, your ability to read the other players, to know how the people around you are going to react, what they want. And then the luck of the draw, your health, your economic situation, who your parents were, blah, blah, blah. But everybody deals with those issues on different levels. But the one thing that remains consistent and constant is you, is who you are, is what you bring to the table. People don't buy what you do. They buy who you are.
Oh, so stop right there. Up. We're going to take a break. Then we're going to pick it up right there, because that's a great stop line. Everybody should think about who they are and what they're selling in themselves. And they should, if you can't be proud of that, then you should look in the mirror a little bit. Bruce, we're going to pick it up right there on your next point. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I want to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with more of Bruce Turkel's Pearls of Wisdom, which you can tell I love. Regan, Mr. Mendoza, it's all yours. South Florida's longest running business talk show, when you use that kind of generic music, because ASCAP keeps coming after us. So listen, Bruce, maybe we should use some of your custom music on our show. What do you think, Regan Mendoza? We got Bruce's music. We should use some of his music. We'll be thinking about that, because Bruce, after all, it is all about you.
That's right, baby.
Love you, man. All right. It's also all about our friends at Warren Henry, where, again, there it's all about you, too. Warren Henry says they're going to make you part of their family, and they do. We love Warren. We love Larry. We love Samantha. We love Abe. We love them all. Why? Because they treat us like family every time we come up there, and they make us feel good about what we did with them. And remember, when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry, Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, Jaguar. Up in Gainesville, they sell Audi. Down in the Keys, they've got them all. What do they all have in common? Well, they all are great cars. They all come with the Warren Henry Advantage. And one of the things they should put on this Warren Henry Advantage is that you become part of their family. But I'm going to read their list anyway. Well, I'm going to make it number one. You become part of Warren Henry family. Complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, 72-hour exchange. My friends, they love Warren Henry. I love Warren Henry. My mom loves Warren Henry. My beautiful wife, Vivian, loves Warren Henry. So join us all. Remember, always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry. Everybody, and give me a call if I can help at 305-773-6300, doing residential mortgages, commercial real estate deals, bridge loans, equity deals. If you've got an issue with your real estate, either residential or commercial, I've probably seen it and probably can help you through it. Give me a call at 305-773-6300, and here's the part Bruce loves, because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we're back. And we're back with Bruce Turkel, and I interrupted him in his full-throated consciousness flow. So I'm going to go right back to you, Bruce. You had a little coffee there. So where are we now? What's the next pearl of wisdom that was coming out that I stopped you on?
You know, the amazing thing, as long as you've known me, you think I actually remember.
Okay.
No, I do. What I had said was people don't buy what you do, or people don't choose what you do. They choose who you are. So I'll use you as an example. You can talk about all the reasons people should finance their real estate projects with you. And I need money to purchase a property, to refinance a property, to whatever. And you can give me all the intellectual reasons why it makes sense to do it with you, and they all make a lot of sense. But the truth is, and I'm sorry to say this to you, Jim, because you're so nice to me, but the truth is I can get money lots of places. You are another guy who does what you do, as good as you are at it. And there are other people who do it, and there are other people who do it well. So you are a resource, but let's face it, you're not the only one. By the way, being that unique that you are the only one is not a good thing to be either, because that means you're answering the question nobody's asking. Because if they were asking it, there'd be more people offering that service, right? So, so people can get what you do lots of places. So if you only offer money, then you're stuck with having to come up with ways to get people to want to take your money instead of someone else's money. And generally what that will come down to is one of three things: speed, time, or quality, right? I'm going to do it better, quality. I'm going to do it faster, speed, or I'm going to do it cheaper, money. And you know, they always say you can pick two: speed, time, or money. Pick two. You can't have all three. If you want it good and you want it cheap, then it's going to take a long time. If you want it good and you want it quickly, then it's going to be very expensive. If you want it cheap, then it's going to take a long time and not be very good, and so on and so forth. And none of us want to lower our prices. By the way, being the low-cost leader is not a good business strategy. It works for Walmart. It doesn't work for anybody else, really. So if you're not going to sell based on those three categories, quality, price, or, well, let's talk about, let me go a step further. So money is not a good way to do it. Time is not a good way to do it, because first of all, the faster you do something, chances are the less quality you'll provide. And number two, the more chance you have to screw up, which means the more chance you have to disappoint your customer, either by not performing quickly or by performing quickly but not doing a good enough job. And then third, quality. Yes, it's nice to want to sell based on high quality, But you notice that the word quality doesn't mean good or bad unless you put a modifier in front of it. There's high quality and there's low quality. We tend to believe that if I say it's quality, that means it's high quality, but it actually doesn't. You need the modifier. And the trouble is that consumers often don't know if you did a good job or not. If I need money to make my purchase and you provide the money, I think you did a good job. But I don't know how you did it, how the forms were filled out. I don't mean you personally, I mean anybody. So quality is not really a good judge except for people who actually understand what you do. So if you're not going to sell based on those things, what are you going to sell based on? Well, then you want to move away from the world of being in competition, having to have a lower price, having to deliver faster, having to offer higher quality. And the only place where you don't have competition is you. If I want to do business with Jim Fried, I can't go anywhere else. I can get money somewhere else. Maybe I can get it faster. Maybe someone will give me a better rate by a half. Doubtful, but they might. But I can certainly go look for it. But if I've heard this program, if I've met Jim Fried, if I've been listening to him for years, and I think, wow, this guy really knows what I need, you have no competition because I want to do business with you. So the idea that people don't choose what you do, they choose who you are, is an enviable position to be in because it means that you can provide a higher level of service, a higher level of product or service. You can provide it at a price that makes sense for you and your customer, and you don't have to respond to the competitive calls, the people standing outside the bars trying to drag you into their bar. You don't have to respond to that because people want to do business with you.
Yes, I actually got a call like that a couple of weeks ago from a gentleman I hadn't seen in many years. He said he could use anybody, but he'd like to work with me. Then I brought him to the source. The source was a little bit more expensive. When they talked about cost, my client said that he was willing to pay a little more for the ability to do the business with us and to do it on a continuing basis. So it's 100% correct. On the flip side, I'm dealing with a gentleman with a residential mortgage. He doesn't realize how long it takes. He's getting frustrated because of the holidays. I lost my rhythm of keeping in touch with him, and he began to lose faith in me. And it's impossible to regain that once it begins to slip. It's very difficult. And I work hard at it, and I'll try, and I'll perform, but I'm sure that the person doesn't think as highly of me as he did before I dropped the ball. And I'll admit it, I dropped the ball.
But someone who knew you, when you admit it, would accept that and say, okay, I understand this is not the norm. What can we do to fix it? Someone who doesn't know you or is buying from you simply because they're buying a product, they can go anywhere else.
Correct.
And what's worse is now that guy theoretically could be out there telling people, I went to this gentleman and he didn't do a very good job. Now, again, he doesn't know why, but it can be detrimental for you down the line in years. If he's the person, and especially today with social media, someone can go on to any social media site and upload a criticism of what you did with no knowledge of why. They don't even have to put their name on it. So it can be, how many times have you gone to say Yelp or, Open Table or something, and you want to eat at a restaurant, good review, good review, good review, good, oh, we should go there, good review. And then one person says, it was the worst restaurant I ever ate at. And you go, okay, we're not going to go there. And then if you read further, the reason it was the worst restaurant is because they wouldn't give the guy more rice for the takeout or something that is completely ridiculous. But they're able to post that and really harm somebody's business.
True. And so what I did was, I called the person that referred me, made sure he understood what was going on. He knows. And this other person, I'm going to double my efforts after the holiday. And that's all you can do, and I'll continue to work hard to build my relationship with the person. I think they understand everything. It's just that they're frustrated because in this particular instance, to go out and buy a house, you need to have the approval. And we were waiting for him to pick the house, but he wants the approval. And so it was a chicken or egg, and it was just poor communication. I worked so hard to give people good communication, but communication is difficult, Bruce.
Well, may I make a suggestion?
Yes.
One of the things that works in these situations is to remember that what we say and what they hear is not the same thing. Because you say something based on your knowledge, your upbringing, on and on and on. So it comes out of Jim Freed filters that you're wearing, metaphorically, of course, over your mask, over your mouth.
Right.
Then it gets to the person you're talking to, and it goes through their filters. How they were treated by the last person who did what you did. Who's pressuring them on you don't know what's going on in their world. So they hear it differently than what you said. Then they process it, and they come up with some answer, and back and forth. And it's amazing we can get anything done. So you need to be on the same page that they're on. And the easiest way to do that is to simply ask them. You say, look, I already told you that I screwed up, and I'm taking complete responsibility for that. What do I need to do to reassure you that I have your best interest at heart? And then they will tell you. And they might say, there's nothing you can do. I no longer trust you. In which case, you're going to have to accept that and move on. They might say, your apology was enough. Just understanding is enough. They might say, I need you to call my wife and tell her that I didn't screw it up. They might say, we were going to have this big party at the house and now it's been delayed. The fact that the guy didn't give you what you needed to get the job done is not going to come up, right? But they will tell you what it takes. And then all you have to do is decide if you're willing to do what's required to fix the situation or not. And now the power is back in your hand because you make that decision. You may say, yeah, that's reasonable. I'm perfectly happy to rebate this or to get that painted or to call your wife. Or you may say to yourself, you know what? I'm not willing to do that. And then you'll accept the consequences. But at least you get your power back.
That's
all about them. You get the power back by actually turning it over to them.
Yes. What it is I'm giving them the power. They right now feel powerless.
That's right.
That's exactly what it is. We'll be right back with more Pearls of Wisdom from Bruce Turkel. I got to think of another good problem for you to solve. I only have 15 more minutes. Reagan, rock us. We are South Florida's longest running business talk show. And the reason is because I have guests on like Bruce Turkel, who gives me things I put on stickies that I'm never going to take off my desk, like what he just told me to do when I screw up. Wow, Bruce, you're the man. You know who else is the man? Larry Zinn, along with his team at Warren Henry Automotive. I want to thank our friends at Warren Henry Automotive for being sponsors on the show since 2008. Thank you so much, Warren. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you, Abe. Thank you, everybody over there. Thank you, Eric. Remember, when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. And that's why you have to check out Warren Henry, Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar up on 151st and Biscayne. Down in the Keys, they sell all their name brands. Up in Gainesville, they sell Audi. What do they have in common? Well, they're all great cars, and they all come with the Warren Henry advantage. That means complimentary service owner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guaranteed, 72-hour exchange. But none of that matters as much as the fact that they make you a member of the Warren Henry family. It's the feeling you get. It's how wonderful you feel when you buy from them. So join me, my mom, and my beautiful wife, Vivian, and lots of my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best service, always the best quality, always the best price, always Warren Henry.
Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
All right, and I'm Jim Freed, and I sponsored this show. I approved this message. I always wanted to say that. Hey, give me a call if I can help. Residential or commercial, it's all about you. All those great things that we say on the show, well, they're all true. I'm helping folks get great rates on their mortgage. I'm helping them maximize their loan. All the things that everybody can do, and they feel great. So give me a call at 305-773-6300. Why? Because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we are on with my good friend Bruce Turkel, who's got his favorite shorts on. They have pockets for virtually everything. Welcome back to the show, Bruce Turkel.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Now, Bruce and I have really been talking about some of the secret pockets he has in his information world. We talked about his 7 secrets to marketing yourself and building your brand. Bruce, let's talk about your next book coming up. You've interviewed like 30-something people about it. Tell us a little bit about what you learned.
Sure. My next book is called Is That All There Is? And it's specifically about what people need to do to change their lives for the better. Everybody today is going through wondering, looking around, trying to figure out what's going on, what they're going to do next, how they're going to live. And so I thought, you know what, it makes a lot of sense to go out and talk to people who've already been through this. I actually started long before COVID hit, so I can't say I was prescient enough to know that this pandemic was going to affect us. But I started talking to people mostly in their 70s and 80s about how they had pivoted their lives. And that led to meeting a lot of other people who had done the same thing. And essentially, I found out what worked and what didn't work. And then I created some narrative and some exercises and things people can do to figure out how to get to where they want to be in life.
Wow. What is one step that somebody could take?
Well, the fascinating thing is that some of the people I interviewed would say, make sure you do this, whatever this is. And then other people would say, okay, never do this. And this was the exact same thing. But one thing that everybody said was get a mentor, get mentors. They use different words. Some people said a board of directors. Some people said friends and family you can talk to. But everybody said find mentors. Find people who have your best interest at heart, who you can trust, and go and ask them. Don't reinvent the wheel. You think your issues are completely yours and yours alone. We all think that everybody else is a fully formed human being, but we're the ones who are wondering and reaching and questioning. But it's not true. We're all like that. And so go find people who have been there. Again, it's nothing different than you would do in business. If I wanted to refinance my mortgage, I don't know how to do it. I'd call my buddy Jim Freed and say, hey, Jim, I have this issue because I have a balloon mortgage and it's due on this date and I have a tax problem and I blah, blah, blah. And he would say, well, that's easy, Bruce. What you need to do is fill out this form and apply for, right? He knows how to do it. I don't have any idea. In business, we get mentors. If you have a broken tooth, you don't try to super glue it back together. You go to a dentist. You find someone who knows how to do it. When your car won't start, unless you know a lot about cars, you might try jumping it, but after that doesn't work, you go to a mechanic. Why don't we do that in our lives? It's just ridiculous. And every person who was successful at accomplishing what they wanted to accomplish and at changing their lives said the exact same thing. Find mentors.
That's amazing. You know, there's, you know, I like to say I like to surround myself with experts, and then I don't have an ego so I can take their advice and implement it. I think that's one way to say that. It's very difficult at a certain point in your career to continue to find mentors. What I do is I really look to network people that are a little senior than I am and befriend them, and then I can ask them questions. And I like to also surround myself with people that are doing a lot of the same things I am so that I can understand what they're going through. But the most important thing is surrounding yourself with people that believe in you and that believe that you can get where you're going and that are invested in you doing that. And for you to have the same kind of relationships.
But if you don't mind, let me disagree with something you said. That you say
Go ahead.
It's very difficult to find mentors. It's not. It's actually very easy to find mentors. You can't find mentors for everything because different people have different skill sets and talents. Again, when I chip my tooth, I'm not coming to you. When I need to refinance my mortgage, I'm not planning on asking my dentist. So we're perfectly happy to have specialists in our lives. So you can do the same with mentors. You decide what it is you need to understand. You go find someone who's been successful at that, and you say to them, you've been really successful at this. I'm having a problem with it. Can I buy you a cup of coffee and talk to you for a few minutes? I just want to hear I don't want anything. I don't expect anything. I just want to, sit at the feet of the master. Everybody loves being an expert. Everybody loves being complimented, and everybody loves to help as long as they realize it's sincere. Then, of course, you have to do all the right things. You have to follow up. You have to say thank you. You have to show them what happened, all that. But that's secondary. Finding mentors is not difficult if you're willing to admit, A, you have an issue, and B, you don't know how to deal with it, and C, someone else does.
Yeah, I have great mentors. I have you. I have Manny Johnson in cannabis. I have all kinds of great people. And by the way, I wanted to thank you because I threw that at you without asking you first. But I do want to thank you for giving me all of the advice and helping me stay between the rails. I guess I've said it like 15 different times here on the radio show.
Very nice of you.
Well, look, you're tremendous. I'm a high-powered person. I've got my own little ups and downs, lefts and rights. But, I really do appreciate you helping me find, coming in touch with what my personal goal is and what my personal brand is. Bring them on. I don't care.
It's someone telling me they're leaving. My wife is on call. She has to go see a patient.
Yeah, tell her we really appreciate her sacrifice and all the things that you do. I know that you're here because she has to be on call where you'd rather be in the Keys right now. So I want to thank it's Gloria, right?
Yes.
I want to thank Gloria very, very much for all of her sacrifices, and I want to thank you for being there to support her while she's doing it. Because without you, she couldn't do it.
We only have a couple minutes left, so here's how you can thank me. Let me just let people know how they can get some help with this if they want. I've put together 2 strategic roundtables, groups of people who are committed to helping one another. They both come to a close in January, and we're starting new ones. If you are a company owner, an entrepreneur in the C-suite, I have a program called CE Only. It's very clever. I know, CEO only, CE only. And the website is ceonly.me. ceonly.me. Check it out. It's specifically set up for all the things we talked about, how to get clarity, how to get certainty, how to build mentors, how to have accountability partners. We haven't talked about that. All the exercises that I talked about, there's a curriculum of acceleration techniques to show you how to move forward. ceonly.me. If you're not a business owner, if you're not a CEO, if you're not an entrepreneur, but you still want this type of technology and help, I have a second program, and it's called Together with Turkel. That's me, by the way. So Turkel. So it's togetherwithturkel.com. And it's a similar program. It's set up more for lifestyle than for business owners. It's different in a lot of ways. You decide who you are and what makes more sense for you. But check them out, please. Togetherwithturkel.com and ceonly.me.
That's great. Well done.
Thank
the Prince of Pivoting. You're the man.
That's what I'm working on, and I want to share it with everybody. I mean, I learned a lot from these people I spoke to. You write 330 pages of a book. You better learn something.
No, 100%. And listen, you did learn it, and you do have things to teach people, because obviously I got that first book, read it, and implemented a lot of it. I'm looking forward to this as well. We do only have a couple more minutes left. I want to thank you so much for being on the show all year and in the years past and providing us with this great guidance and professionalism. Reagan, when we're done editing the show, I'd like to give Bruce his video that he just did just separately so he can send it out to different folks and put it on his website.
Of course.
Bruce, thank you so much for being here and giving your wisdom to all of our friends over these years. Thank you so much for everything you've done. And I want to just wrap up the show right here. It's the end of 2020. It's been a very rough year for a lot of people, but we've also learned a lot of things. We're all going to make it through. None of us thought we'd make it through 2028, or the people that are old enough, the RTC crisis or whatever. The way we're going to get through this is by being together. Call me if I can help. Maybe there's an idea that you haven't thought of that maybe I've seen. You heard Bruce. I've been there before. I got a lot of that gray hair from real estate. Not as much as Bruce, but I'm working on it. And so please give me a call. 2021 is going to be about working together and coming together and sharing new ideas and continuing to buttress each other and coming and building each other up. So the picture behind me really is something that I mean. It's important. A lot of you know that I went to the Coconut Grove Church of Christ this last weekend and gave them stuff for their young kids. Go out in the community and do something that makes you feel good. You'll be surprised how wonderful it is and what fuel it will be for 2021. I want to thank our friends at Warren Henry. I want to give a shout out to Glory and all the rest of the healthcare heroes and the first responders and the people that are just out there, risking it every single day, every day. We're always at risk out there. I want to thank Warren Henry Automotive, Preco AI, Carlson Integrated, Turkel. I want to thank you, sir. All of our sponsors. I want to thank you, our listener, our viewer. Without you, we wouldn't have a podcast or a show. Remember, go to our Facebook page, like our show, tell your friends, join our community, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Twitch. I couldn't believe we broadcast on Twitch. Thank you, Reagan, for that. If you missed today's show, it'll be up immediately at this point. Next week, we have our tech show. Thanks to Andre Senni. We're going to do some more great tech stuff. This is Jim Freed for Freed on Business. Look for us next Wednesday at noon. And remember, the person wants to do something, finds a way, the other finds an excuse. Now go out there, make it happen. Everybody, thank you so much for a great 2020. Together, we're going to make 2021 tremendous. See you then.